mean, I must have done, I don't know, quarter of big chunks of crack out of my nut to go in and do this, because I need that little bit of something. Yeah, I've got this big container there which is full. It could be 2 mil, it could be it's absolutely full. Cable time, and started loading up the lorry, coming back in, up the thing. They're going, now you can see really that it's not it's not police. This floor manager, big Irish guy, is then say, oh, you're not police officers, you're robbers. Anyway, so he's come over to me. I had these big SR19 gloves on, leaded ball bearings, yeah, and it's across the knuckles, all over the glove. So it's a weapon. So as he's come over toward me, now I can bang. Anyway, I'm a banger, right? Whoop, he comes right on, whang, bang. I've hit him on the jaw, but as I've hit him on the jaw, his jaw has come out for the side of his jaw. His bone's come out. He's hit the floor, so now I'm on top of him, smashing him, right? There's all our built ends with vans and cars. We drive at them at about 30 miles an hour. We're knocking cars, vans, everything up in the air. Armed police. They're hitting the door, but they won't go in because of this thing. So they brought this other machine with them, what is called a shredder. They're shredding the door. There's wood flying everywhere, right? And the judge is giving you grief, as they do. He said, what? He said, Mr. Hill, I'm sentencing you to a 2.5 years IPP. 2.5 years of this one, 2.5 years. This is like not a bad sentence, this is IPP. Then it goes, it's an indeterminate public protection order of 99 years. Oh.
When did you find out about IPP sentences? Was this before, obviously being in court on the said time, did you know about it? Obviously,
nobody knew about it, mate. Nobody knew about this IPP. Not even, I'll tell you what, mate, when I got sentenced to an IPP, when I come back to court, when I come back to the scrubs, and I was on a wing called the Connerby, which is a drugs unit, yeah? And there's only certain screws in there, but it was all up together with sentences, yeah? And they never knew what an IPP was as such.
And let's go back a couple of steps. So what was, don't go into the real depths of the crime, but what crime was it that you had done and like briefly?
Car phone warehouse.
So you got in there and it was a violent robbery then?
Yeah, what it was, some guys that I know got into the back of a car phone warehouse, yeah? They got into the back of it, smashed the wall down and nicked loads of phones, but not as many as what they wanted. They told me about it. I was on crack cocaine very bad. I've been on crack for 8 years. I was doing stupid, silly money. But on crack, 1 minute you got £1,000, next minute you got 4, next minute you got 200 quid. You got to keep it up. It's like you got to keep it filled. It's like a car, yeah? It runs out, you run out, yeah? So I had to keep getting money. So someone told me about this and I thought, yeah. So I've told about 8 people, tried to get these people on with me, pull them in. No one wanted to know about it because there were certain people that was going to go on it with me that they didn't trust, which I should have taken notice of, right? To do this bit of work, when I went and see it, you needed to go in as police officers. A very good friend of mine had stolen some uniforms out of a special police wagon, one of the special ones, yeah. So when they go in and bust people's houses, one of them ones, yeah. So when they brought it to my place to show me, which the people that wanted it done was behind it, that paid for this, yeah. So there was SO19 uniforms in there, and there was also custom and excise uniforms in there, like the hat, you know, the bib and all that, and the custom and excise on the back. Mine was headgear, mask, all the boots, all the plastic gloves, all the plastic elbows, the knee cap, everything, yeah. So I decided that it had to be done. I went there, had a look, I thought, yeah, mate, it's got to be done. I got hold of some people to come with me. They didn't, as I said, they didn't trust someone who was going to do it with me. So my mate got some other people, young kids, to come in as custom and excise, which is the worst thing we ever did. I got in the back of the van, this 7-ton thing, smoking crack before I could even go and do this thing. I mean, I must have done, I don't know, a quarter of big chunks of crack out of my nut to go in and do this, because I needed that little bit of something, yeah. So it's only me, dressed up as SO19, 2 custom excise gear. My mate Steve's going to drive the motor in, but he comes in with us, yeah. Motor's outside.
Tooled up?
No. Well, I didn't have to be tooled up, because why would the police officers be tooled up? But it's SO19 which are tooled up, but they're outside, they think, waiting to come in. So when I actually got in, I banged on the door, actually got in there, and Lloyd just unloaded, but there's a great big container in there full of phones, and the phones, what was in there, was a thing called Razor phones. I don't know if you ever remember Razor phones.
Yeah, the Motorola phone.
Yes, that's it. And anyway, so we got in there. As we got in there, I said to this guy, look, I'm SO19. The reasons it was called SO19, we're not quite sure if could be arms in here. It could be someone who works for you, who's involved with arms. It could want to rob you, so we want to check it all out. We got 3 custom excise, 2 custom excise. They're going to go up the stairs. They're supposed to be getting a hard drive, this little whatever. They're going to go up the stairs, check all the paperwork, okay? But whilst they're upstairs and I'm here, what I'm going to do, for my safety and your safety, more so for your safety, I'm going to cable tie you, all of you. So there's 10 on the floor. So I'm going to cable tie every one of them. So we started cable tying them up, and we've got this big container there, which is full. It could be 2 mil, could be, it's absolutely full in pounds, right? Not in weight. So we cable tie them and started loading up the lorry, come in, back in, up the thing. They're going, now you can see really that it's not police, we're not police officers as such, yeah? Because I see another lorry in the corner, a van in the corner, black van in the corner, that I want to put all these people, 10 people, in it to get them out of the way. So I'm saying I want to put you all in there. Right, this floor manager, big Irish guy, is then say, oh, you're not police officers, you're robbers. Anyway, so he's come over to me. He snapped his cable ties. Well, you can't even cut them with scissors, you know. So he snapped his cable ties, he's come rushing towards me. I had these big SO19 gloves on, which SO19 gloves I've got like ball bearings.
They're lead, aren't they?
Leady ball bearings, yeah. And it's across the knuckles, all over the glove. So it's a weapon. So as he's come rushing towards me, now I can bang. Anyway, I'm a banger, right? Whoop, he comes right on, wham, bang. I've hit him on the jaw. But as I've hit him on the jaw, his jaw has come out for the side of his jaw. His bones come out. He's hit the floor, so now I'm on top of him, smashing him, right? So now he's knocked out. Everybody else is petrified. They're all laying on the floor, shaking and crying. We now are loading up the motor. The guy from upstairs, the 2 custom excise, which are supposed to have got the high drive, what they've done, they've nicked all their computers, nicked all their watches, nicked all their rings, nicked all their money, The hard drive. They left the hard drive, but we don't know this. So when we're driving out,
and obviously you got loads of these phones in.
well, it's full up. The motor's got up in the air. There's all old bill at the end with vans and cars. We drive at them at about 30 miles an hour. We're knocking cars, vans, everything up in the air. Who cares? All we want to do is get away. I'm on crack. Don't forget I'm on crack cocaine. I don't care. They've all been knocked out. But the only funny thing that I never see them following us. Why? I think it's because we was too erratic, mad, and maybe we'd have gone into someone's house or smashed cars up in the air, public. They went, leave it. We're going to find them anyway, yeah. And so they left it, but then I give my mate. Go on.
So how many phones did you get? Hundreds of phones?
Well, 1.3 million, I think. 1.2 million. Something.
So you got thousands of phones?
Loads.
Yeah, so go on, and then so you got away then
So,
safely.
got away. Went to my mate Steve's house, the one that no one wanted to work with. They didn't fancy him. Yeah. He wanted 10 boxes, 5 boxes, something like that, of phones, so he could sell them to. He wanted needy money quick, so he could sell them to his mate who's got a shop, Indian shop or whatever it was. Yeah. So he went there, got his bits and pieces, money, come back, boom. The next day, my mate said to me, okay, look, I want to sell the phones. I said, my mate's got about 10 boxes, I don't know. He said, get them back. Get them back.
We realise what they're worth now?
Yes, not so much really how much they're worth. We don't know one else to have them because these are supposed to have new ones on them up. We don't want other people to have them because then it might come on top for us. We've got proper people to buy them. So I go to see Steve. I said, what, we've got to get the phones back. No, I've done them. Listen, get the phones back. Tell the guy he's X amount of money, you're going to pay the rest back. Goes and gets them. He's going, oh no, don't. Gone mad. He's then phoned the police.
And then you should have just left them.
Saying, yeah, we should have left them. Greed, isn't it? So it's always the greed that get you caught. If you're not so greedy, then you don't get caught. So he's phoned the police officers, that's a funny new one for me, but he's phoned the old bill, yeah?
Grass and Steve.
Grass Steve up. So they busted his door down. It wasn't robbery squad, it was just normal police from the police station, come bash his door down, crash. As they've gone through the door, Steve has got all the uniforms in a cat house in his back garden. Well, a big cat house, right? He's got all them in his back garden. They come in, right? So we really believe, yeah, it wasn't me, it was Rael. I didn't find all this out till later. So we got the depths and all this, that, and the other. So it wasn't me, it was Rael, all this, that, and the other. So they give them all the uniforms. They've now got all the DNA they want because of the hair and bits and pieces like that.
You're fucked.
Yeah, I'm fucked. So I'm on crack. My mates give me X amount of money for the phones.
It's got a big part of it then.
Yeah.
Crack.
No, he just gives us X amount of money whilst he sells them, yeah? So I'm in the flats, out of my nut on crack cocaine, which you can imagine, you got, as you said, you got a nice pile of it, because you've got a few bob. I'm on it, I'm happy, yeah? All of a sudden, on my front door, I go to my front door, it's 2 women, right? Hello, have you got a television? Yes, I have. Are you interested in this, that, the other? I said, no, I'm not. Crash! Shut the door, lock the door, and I got this long piece of wood going from the front door onto where I am now, but they've got a lip on the door, so there's a lip on that, it's on that, and it's on that, so no one can push it open. So I'm out my nut. So I decided it's about 4 in the morning. I thought, I'll just lay down for a little bit of time before I have another blast. Right? Don't take more, but what I did do, being you're on crack, you're a bit mad, I got an idea, right? Good idea, I thought. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get some rope. I'm going to get some rope. I'm going to tie the rope on a balcony, and I'm 10 floors up. I'm going to tie the rope on a balcony, right, big rope. I'm going to throw it down. If any old bill come to me, they can't get through the door, because you're paranoid anyway when you're on that crack, innit? I mean, you could be okay off the crack, but once you're on it, everything's like paranoid, isn't it? So I'm thinking, when they come through, what I do, I'm going to dive to the balcony, come down the rope, slide down the rope, and then get away. But obviously, 10 floors up, it ain't that easy, is it? But anyway, that's all in your mind. I'm going to die and I don't know what but I'm not thinking about that. So anyway, so all of a sudden, what's so funny, right? The old girl smashing the door. They're going. You're under arrest. No, it's what is it? Armed police. They're hitting the door when he won't go in because of this thing. So they brought this other machine with them, what is called a shredder. They're shredding the door. There's wood flying everywhere, right? But I didn't know that until I opened the door to go out. Oh, please come out. I thought, oh, what? Instead of me going that way to the balcony, I'm on crack and I'm not thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. If I had come down the road, I would have been dead. Anyway, but but at the bottom, when we come out in his door, but anyway, so I come out, as I'm walking in through the door, there's all spots on me, blue ones, red ones, all sorts of colours. And they're going, right, turn round and walk out backwards. I went, fuck off, I'm not walking out backwards because the person told them that in the cupboard next to the door is where I've got guns in there. Right, so they must have told them there's guns down there. So when they're shredding the door, they're not actually in yet. They're still there, but there's guns. If I'd have fallen over, coming out backwards, they'd have thought I'd have been dead. So a bit of common sense says to me, no, keep walking. So I'm walking forwards. I've not got no clothes on. The doors open up. Shredded. Yeah, get your hands behind. I won't put my hands on my back. So they cuffed me at the front. 2-hour bill, 3-hour bill took me to the end. They want to talk to me, right? They talk to me, you're in trouble, this, that, and the other. As I walk out, who's there? These 2 women about the television. So I went, lovely. And then they took me, and instead of me going down the lift, they wouldn't let us go down the lift because they thought if they got me in the lift, I might have control. I might be able to take control of these people, yeah? So they took me downstairs, old bill. Stairs, old bill. When I come down 10 stories, it's about 30 old bill. Do you know what I mean? All gunned up. But if you go in the lift, they can only get so many in the lift, you know, and it might be my control of it, you know. Anyway, and then I go to Wembley police station, and at Wembley police station, I just take my vest off, put it around my eyes. I ain't talking to no one, and that's it, really. And then scrubs.
Did the boys ever get nicked? You did the thing with the young boys.
No.
Yeah, and obviously you kept staunch and
no.
Yeah.
My co-defendant, he got.
But you were
fired.
fucked, even if they hadn't got the tapes. You were fucked where you've been mated, snitched. This.
Yeah, exactly. My co-defendant Steve.
So going back to it, obviously you've ended up in Scrubs now from Wembley Police Station.
Yeah.
And so how long were you sat in Scrubs before you ended up coming around? Did you take this to trial?
Yeah. My co-defendant Steve, he was in another wing. This wing,
and you didn't know he bubbled you up at this point?
No. He was in a special wing. I was to go there. I couldn't make out why I was in this special wing. It was a wing that they had everything they wanted, you know. And I went in there and I'm going, how come you're in there? They said, well, I don't know, they put me in here. And then all of a sudden, a little thing comes through the door. It's called depositions. Not a little thing, but a paper on the door. Please go down the stairs and collect your depositions. And you collect them. And then...
And Steve was taken at trial as well?
Yeah. Well, no, Steve's going guilty.
Okay.
Right, I'm going trial.
Did you know he was going guilty?
Who?
Did you know he was going guilty, Steve was?
No.
No,
I thought, and then when I was at court.
What about your depths then? So you got your depths through.
I found out that he grasped me up. Yeah, I found out that he grasped me up because what was happening when we was going to court? They'd either put Steve in last or Steve in first. Right. So if he went in last, if he come out last, you wouldn't see him. If he come out first, you wouldn't see him. So he was put in a cell. In a different cell, but when he went into court, he was sort of like took him first, I was outside, but I was with two screws that were okay as happens, but let me look for the spiral. And I could see his mouth going like this, like that. And then he come out. But this is not sentencing, this is just what he's doing, yeah. And then
so this wasn't at the trial, this is the court dates prior to the trial and stuff like this.
And then I went in, the judge saying this, that and the other.
And so, you know, at the point where you knew he was talking and that, did you not want to change your plea to guilty? You thought, fuck this, I'm
No, but I did it in the end. I did it in the end because at the end, I had to do it. You know? I had to do it. Yeah, because it gone. There was too much evidence against me with him fucking grasping his paperwork and this, that and the other.
And what stage was this in? Like
maybe
first day of the trial?
No. Maybe pre-trial.
And what court was it in, and what charge were you up for?
It was Harrow Crown Court.
Yep.
And I was up for GBH with intent, robbery with intent, taking X amount, £1 million worth of mobile phones.
Yep.
It was the GBH with the intent that got me the bird.
Yeah, and so you've ended up pleading, you're saying, a few months before it then. And so what, obviously you've been in jail at this point for 18 months or whatever.
Yes.
And so what in your head were you hoping to get before sentence-wise that you thought you might be able, what were your lawyers telling you about?
I'll tell you what happened.
Were they even talking about the possibility of this IPP?
No, what happened? I went to court, yeah, another court. It was another court. It wasn't Harrow Crown Court. It was another court. It might have been. I don't know what court it was. It was near. It might have been Wembley Court. I don't know. We went to this court, and the judge was just no bail. You know what I mean? Them sort of things. And then a woman, probation officer, she stood up and said, "Your Honour, you know that this carries an IPP on it." And the judge said, "Oh, really? Okay, can you look into it?" And I thought, what's this IPP? No one knew what it was. Then my barrister said, well, you know, something new, but we don't think that it's gonna really kick in. Okay, and then I got in the corner bear, right, and I got in the corner bear then, and the job was lovely, loved my job.
And this is all prior to sentencing and all around the time when you pleaded guilty, around this sort of time.
Yeah. And everything was like really, really going well. And all of a sudden it was a court date.
And so at this point, did you plead guilty? Were you just waiting for sentencing now?
Yes, yeah.
So when you obviously said to your lawyers want to plead guilty at that, what did they say then? Hopefully,
well, what it was, they called me.
It's still a serious charge. They think you'll get. What would you?
Well, they called me
8 or something like this, or
they called me down to the charge room, to the room like you go and see the barrister, and said, look, you know, this sentence carries an IPP, right? But this is where it's so corrupt. This is where it's so corrupt, courts and barristers, judges, the lot, and CPS, yeah. Because when I went in to see my barrister, he showed me a video of me, right? He couldn't really see me, but what it was, they'd done me on a facial mapping. Even though I had a mask on, they'd done me on facial mapping and the way I also walked, you know. So I was seeing shit anyway.
And you had DNA from the outfits,
everything. And grass, everything's against me, yeah.
Charles.
So the barrister said to me, look, I'm going to work with the prosecution, yeah. The prosecution has said that if you plead guilty to this charge, he's going to give me a 9-year sentence. I've already done 2.5 years on the Conor Bear.
Yeah.
So
2 years you're thinking.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're thinking. So when you had 9.5, you're happy with that?
Yes, but I'm thinking, fuck it. I ain't going to go. I'm going to try a trial.
Because it can't get that much worse than that.
Right.
That's what you're thinking. When
Yes.
It's a serious thing.
Yes. All of a sudden, he said, is that what you want to do? I said, yes. He said, okay, I'll tell the prosecution. Right. And then...
So that's where you fucked up, do you think? Because you should have fucking taken...
Well, everything went both sides. That's when all the evidence come in about the DNA, this, that and the other, you know. So it's too late now. I've refused the deal.
Yeah.
Right? So now I've got to go ahead with it. So when
and then the other stuff come, like
yes.
you say, and then you're like, fuck, well, I can't go and fucking run it. So now
but
the deal's
now,
off the table.
Yes, the deal's off the table, right? So Steve, I smashed part of the cells that I'm in, yeah, because I'm going mad about all this now.
Why did you find that?
Because there's too much evidence, yeah. So Steve, I come in, we're going to be sentenced. Steve walks in, I walk in, then I see Steve's mouth going.
So yeah, forget the sentencing. So this was, because obviously you pled guilty, but you pled guilty to the full thing then.
Yes.
The
yes.
GBH and the robbery. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And so now it's obviously come to the sentencing, like you're saying. Who was
yes.
up first? And you both in the dock together?
No. He goes in first, right? He goes in first. I can see him going, and he comes out. But the screws are 3 or 4 handy around him, yeah? He's shitting, so they've gone quick, they've gone.
Couldn't say nothing to him.
Right, nothing. I then go in.
I bet you wanted to kill him with this one.
I then go in, and the judge is giving you grief, as they do. He said, right, he said, Mr. Hill, I'm sentencing you to a 2.5 years IPP. 2.5 years of this, like 2.5 years.
So you're thinking, what
I'm going to go out in a minute. This is like not a bad sentence, this is IPP. Then it goes, it's an indeterminate public protection order of 99 years. Well, okay, no, I don't understand.
You won't understand none of this.
No one understands. This is 2.5 years of understanding, yeah?
You're hearing the best part.
So when I go back to the scrubs, and I go on the Conor Bear.
And so you're thinking, right, I'm going to get released on time service.
Obviously, I'm maybe going to do a couple of months, and I'm out. Steve's got a 5. He's out. He'll be out in a minute, right? So I'm thinking he might be able to do a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and he's out. Right? So all of a sudden, I get called into this office.
This when you're back now in the wing in that couple of days.
Yeah, I get called in the office. They saying to me, you've got to go into this room, big boardroom. There's about 9 people sitting around there. They're all asking me questions, yeah. And it's the beginning of your parole for this IPP, which I don't know nothing about because I've been in there for 2.5 years.
Yeah. So what year was this then?
03, 04, 05.
And that was fairly new after it came out.
It just come out.
Yeah.
Just come out.
You're one of the first people.
I'm one of the first to come out. It may
so
be,
yeah, you did.
There might have been 20 of us, 30 of us.
Yes, there hadn't been other people who'd served years on it that you knew about.
Yeah, first one's out. First. I was the first. One of the first. Yeah.
Alright, so you get this board thing.
So I got on this board because I've been in there 2.5 years. I've kept my nose clean, I've been very good. And they talk to me about parole, this, that and the other. And I'm thinking, what is going on here? You know? So they're telling me this, I don't really understand it. And then it's all hushed up, nothing said. And then all of a sudden one day, I'm taking all this stuff up to the first night centre. I'm taking all these bits and pieces, and there's supposed to be some guy in there that's supposed to be some from a band. You know, I don't know who he is. Some years ago I know Pete Doherty. I've never heard of this guy, I don't know who he is. I'm not into music, I'm not into one of them people that are into music, yeah. I goes up there, there his geezers there, he's been there 3 or 4 days. It's called a first night centre, where you're in there maybe 2 nights, he's been in there 4 nights.
Induction week, sort of.
Yeah. But when I go in there, all his face is black from smoke, from it seemed like cigarettes, you know, ash all over the go. And so I can see people around him all the time. So anyway, then I get to hear that he's some famous singer.
And so this just after you'd been sentenced, was this?
Yeah, not long. And I think to myself, yeah, I'll get him on my wing. Because there seems to be money here. Everyone's wrapped around this guy.
And so you obviously heard he's with Kate Moss.
Kate Moss, right? So I get him, but my mate says to me that the screw said, he's on the wing anyway, he's coming over today. I went, yes. Then I get with the guy next door to me, I said, well, you've got to move into another cell. So he moves into the cell that's allocated for him. So I've got it next door to me now, Pete Doherty.
You're seeing pound signs.
Yes, of course I'm seeing pound signs, you know. So he gets next door to me, and I'm talking to Pete Doherty. As it happens, he's wrote a book. And I'm in this book. He talks about me in this book, Pete Doherty. He says I was a nice guy, this, that, and the other one. And we also know that I'm in the Sun newspaper, yeah? So, he's next door. I've got a phone. I'm phoning my mate. Guess who's next door to me? He said, who? I said, Pete Doherty. He went, who's that? I said, well, go and do homework. And he come back and went, well, fucking hell. He's with that Kate Moss. And Pete Doherty's famous. If you can get any photographs or anything, or letters about Kate Moss, I can go to the papers, maybe get 50, 60 grand for this. I said, shut up, don't fuck about it. He said, I'm telling you. So he got back on, about 2 days later, he phoned me and said, get Sam Kate Moss. He said, Dave, what was this 25, 30 grand for any letters, any cards, any pictures of Kate Moss? So fucking hell, I'm on it. So Pete Doherty, now, he's off the wing. I dived in himself, looking everywhere, no letters, nothing. But what they did, because the Screws half knew this, I should imagine the Screws was on this as well. Yeah, they used to read his letters and take, that's where he was going. That's where he was going from the wing, going down to the office to read his letter, because they don't want it in the cell, because they half know this.
Of course, it's
yeah.
vulnerable enough as it is.
So, because I've got one of these razor phones, which have got photograph, we can take a picture. New thing just come out. So
you've got him under your wing by this point, isn't it?
Yes, I'm looking after him, buying him
got his
puff,
bits and that, yeah,
buying him puff and bits of crack, heroin. He loves heroin. That's why all the black was on his face, right? Getting him whatever he wanted. I thought yes. And then one day I said, "Oh, go over there, stand there. I'm gonna take a picture of you."
Was he like quite a soft fellow?
Nice geezer, mate. He's up for it. He was up for it. He was up for what I was doing. He was a nice guy. And I took it, and I sent it to my mate, right?
Took the pictures while he's smoking the thing.
Right, and I thought...
Yeah, carry on. So he took the pictures.
So he's smoking, took the pictures, sent it to my mate. My mate got lovely, smashing. Nothing's done the next day, 5 grand, but the next day, fucking hell, because he put it through, it's in the front of the newspaper. And they've come crashing through my door because it's got on their raid the street fighter. There's only me in there, and I'm the only street fighter. And they said, well, get your gear back, go no block. I said, no fucking where. I ain't going nowhere. And I had to go in down there. And then I wound up in the Mount. And that's where I started my IPP.
And obviously that there wouldn't have been a good start for you. So to what people... Obviously you found out down the line, you do anything was wrong, if it's a year knockback.
2 year knockback you can get. 2 or 3 you can get any amount of knockback on an IPP.
So talk to me about when it actually
kicked in.
No, when you realised the situation you were in, and then they started trying to make you do courses and stuff like this.
When I
said you've done nearly 2.5 years before you've been sentenced, then you end up being still in there for a few more months, and then this has obviously happened is there. So by this point now you've ended up doing fucking close to 3 years as such of something that was a 2.5 year. Yeah. And so they're telling you you've had the board meeting and that, but is it really kicked in? Do you know about these courses? And so
well, then all of a sudden, because I'm an IPP, then psychology in the Mount was all young, pretty looking young girls that had just finished their college, but they were psychologists, and they was in a middle of the wing. We was in a place called, what is it called? Anyway, forgetting the wing, and they was in the middle of it in a hut, a brick hut, yeah, and not a brick hut. I can't be brick hut better than that, yeah. So goes in there, sees them, sits them down, and they're talking to us about the IPP. Well, they say, do you know what it is? No, we don't know. Can you explain it to us, please? It's what you call, obviously there's guys in there that are a bit clever, know about the IPP, they try to tell you, but you don't sort of want to take notice, you want to take no notice of the actual people. So what it is, it's an indeterminate public protection order, and it means 99 years. What does it mean 99 years? I only got 2.5 years, so I'm out in a minute, huh? No, that don't count. You will do until such times as they think it's eligible for you to be out, released from the parole board. Have you learnt your lesson? So I went, how long can that be? He said, well, that can be what he says, 99 years. And you're thinking, and then all of a sudden, whoa, and I'm dyslexic, yeah.
Yep.
Because I'm dyslexic, it takes quite a long time to kick in. So the first day there, they're telling us all the robberies you've done and what you've done, but this robbery that you've done, we want you to act that robbery out now. But they're not telling us what the psychology is about. They're not telling us we've got to learn this, but we're telling them about it, all the violence, this and that, but they don't really want it. They don't want to hear that. They want to be sorry for this, that and the other, yeah? But you don't know the skills. You don't learn them skills yet. So every time we go in there, but the only thing is, when you go into these psychology courses, there might be 10 on there. And all of a sudden, IPPs, all of a sudden at that time, starts to roll in. 100, 200 IPPs. Because there ain't that many psychologists there, that means they've got to be transferred to other prisons, or they're waiting till whatever. So I'm one of the first ones, so I'm very lucky. So you start doing the courses, and these courses are like something you would do as an infant at school, like infant school. And you're thinking, what's the point?
And so real quickly, like I said, obviously, in the past, you had been a serious villain.
Yes.
But unfortunately, at a certain point, you've ended up getting into the drugs, into the crack,
yes.
and that's screwed up everything.
Right.
And the only reason you had money before this, and you wouldn't
yes.
have never done no robbery like this. And the only reason really you'd got to have done that robbery is because you were on drugs at the time.
Coke, crack.
Yeah, you were on drugs at the time.
Yeah.
And if you could, obviously, you deserve to do some time in jail. Obviously,
yes,
it was a very bad thing that you did, but. Obviously, the reason you've done it more importantly was obviously you needed to come off the drugs,
yes.
which you did, and then so obviously you should have accepted the 9.5 years, but
yes.
that's all in hindsight.
Yes.
But then obviously now you like I said you're in prison. They're telling you you've got to do all these psychology courses, and with young people, it must be an hard for you to try and open up. And like I said, to start with, you didn't even know what you should be saying. So I bet you're saying a load of the wrong stuff the first bits and talking about the violence.
Because I was a bit dyslexic. Do you know what I wanted to get? I wanted to get out. I thought, fucking hell, it frightens you.
Of course. So what did they tell you? Look, if you just keep out of trouble, do a few of these psychology courses,
keep out of trouble,
you could get out in a couple of years. Do they tell you?
No,
and that's what you're thinking.
I don't say that. I don't say you get out in a couple of years because they're not authorised to say that. Because you can bring that in the parole up in the hearing, yeah. They're not authorised to say that. It's for the parole board.
Okay, so
your case officers.
So for people who don't know, so the parole board is when you're determined whether you could be released.
Right.
And how often then do they tell you that you'll be before the parole board? Is this a monthly thing or?
No. 2 years. So 2.5 years.
Really? So that long it is to start?
Sometimes on IPPs, they don't get to see him at all.
So like, what's the soonest? It'd be like 18 months would be, but you're not going to see him in less than it's going to be a year minimum.
2 years minimum.
So like I said, every 2 years you're going to get assessed whether you behaved, done the courses, done everything, jumped through all the hurdles.
You see what
to be released out.
Let me explain something to you. Yeah, that an IPP, you've got your case officer, an officer that works as a screw, and a probation officer. They're all case officers, yeah, that look for points in you. So every day they're looking at you. Now, someone comes to your gym, something happens, fucking wanker. You start now. They're writing it down. That isn't your case officer, that's a normal screw, but he's got to be told, he's got to write this down to give it to your case officer. So all them things are getting written down. The worst part about it is if you fight. If you have a fight, you can get knocked back and not even know you've got knocked back.
Yeah.
You can get knocked back for even verbal as such, yeah? So we all know about fish.
So to go back to what you were just saying then, this is the whole insanity of it.
Yeah.
Because it's hard enough to stay out of trouble. Not to say like, okay, look, the troublesome person, but it's hard for a couple of year period, if you're busy going around lots of places, even if you're going out a couple of, you might end up having to step something like this. problem is in jail, like I said, you got one of these
You've
every
got to
2
understand,
years. And so if you slap anyone, do anything wrong, or get caught
prison,
with drugs, or
it's for people that break the law. Violence, drug dealers, rapists, Nazis,
uncontrollable people in society.
So they're putting you in with that because I'm one of them people. You've got to try and keep out of trouble. You've got to try your hardest to keep out of trouble, and it's one of and if you've got to keep out of trouble for you don't know, right? And being
keep out of trouble, there's a lot of people who are looking for trouble. So there's certain times where you've got, it's not that you're even looking for trouble.
Yes,
you've got to be able to turn the other back, or you might get taken. You can't fight back.
I'm a fighter. I'm a boxer. I've got a good reputation, but all of a sudden you're going into prison where everybody might know you, but they might not know you. And all of a sudden, the conversations, then you've got to have a fight, Bob comes on top, 2 year knockback.
So talk to us about that. So obviously you've been in there for 2.5 years. When was your first parole hearing? How many of these did you have then? So when was your first parole? So your first one was, so you've been in there for 2.5 years, you've been sentenced to the 2.5 year IPP. So then was it about 2 years after that you had your first parole thing?
It was about 18 months, I think.
18 months.
Yes.
So at this point here, you've been in jail for over 4 years, or just about that.
Yes.
And that first 18 months from after you've been moved from the Pete Doherty thing and that, did you behave for those 18 months?
Yes, well, as much as I thought done any courses?
Done the courses?
Yeah, no, what it is, it's the courses that you got to learn. So I was sometimes staying up till 3 or 4 in the morning, writing out the courses. And being dyslexic is hard for me, yeah?
And you know these courses, because they're not like, they're psychology courses, so they won't tell you whether you're right or wrong, will they? And so they'll just let you make your own thing, and then you find out.
It's about you challenging, you've got a thing called challenging your thoughts. So you've got to challenge your thoughts. Your thoughts might be in the morning you wake up, it might be, oh, I'm going to go out there and do a robbery. But then you've got to challenge it. What happens if I get caught? If I get caught, I could go away for 10 years. I might even kill someone. No, I ain't doing nothing today. And you've got the pros and cons of things. And it's just pros and cons, this, that, the other. And there's consequences. There's so much that goes on.
But these were obviously, like I said, these were, the reason you've done the crime was because obviously you're on drugs, and so obviously you don't care about consequences, but obviously if you hadn't been on drugs you would have been well aware of it.
I was on a drugs course too.
So you have to do drug courses,
yes.
You have to do these other sort of psychology courses.
Yes.
And so like I said, these first...
I've done over 500 piss tests.
Fucking hell. And so you're completely clean and obviously like this at this point. So this first 8 months, but had you been fighting or anything like this? No fighting?
I was trying to keep out of trouble.
No like selling stuff like this, getting caught with phones or nothing like this?
No.
And so this first 18 months in then, so you, at this point, you've been in jail for 4 years. Did you think you're definitely going to be getting out there? Fucking 100%.
Listen, it's like...
Or had a few other people who you'd see gone up for parole board at this point, and then you're realising, now this is some fucked up thing.
Yeah, that's the problem, you know, because then you get to hear bits and pieces. Then you go up on the board.
Okay, so talk to us about this then. So you've gone up there, and how
you've
got
this? 3 or 4 people. You've got 3
people, is it? Or
it's the parole board, yeah. So you've got 3 people. The one in the middle is in charge.
And so these judges, or these from the probation?
These are proper people.
Yeah.
These are proper probation, not so much parole board, yeah.
Yeah.
They've got a head one in the middle, yeah. So you've got the 2 on the outside. One, so you've got 3 there, yeah. Then you've got your case officer, which is a prison officer, your case officer, which is a probation officer, you got your psychology, maybe 2 of those, yeah? So, before you ever they're asking all these people different questions, psychology asking them questions, the case officer and the wing questions. And don't forget that no matter where you go, no matter what you do, there's someone writing reports down about you, because that's what it is, IVP. So all of a sudden they might be asking this officer, case officer, Mr. Hill's been trying to keep himself good. He's got a gym orderly job, but he's very violent when he comes to people to get out of the gym. He does shout a bit. He's a bit overpowering sometimes, you ain't learned your lesson, mate. It's still the same.
You haven't beaten up anyone.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're overpowering. You're not challenging any thoughts.
So they think you still intimidate a bit of with certain people.
So that alone. And then, all of a sudden, me, because of before times, I bashed up police officers. I had a parole board, which one of these people was an ex-police officer. So he was very against me anyway.
Yep.
How do you feel about, Mr. Hill, about bashing people up? Well, I'm very sorry for what I did, but because I haven't really done too much psychology courses, because I haven't done that much, I've done 2 years of it maybe, but that isn't enough, right? I'm not able to give him the answers that he wants to the question. So,
but do they not give you credit for the fact that you've been in jail for a few years at this point, and been out of trouble, you've got off drugs,
it's psychology courses. You've got to do your courses. That's more important than anything, right? And keep me out of trouble. So when he's asking me questions, I'm not able to answer them. Right? Why did you hit a police officer? Why did you nearly kill that police officer? I'm sorry for what I've done. Why are you sorry now, Mr. Hill? Why wasn't you sorry at the time? Because now you've been and done a robbery.
Sounds like one of these prosecutors in court, they're really asking you these difficult questions. This is your first one, so you weren't prepared for all these super difficult questions. You thought you'd go up, you'd be out of trouble, get out, and get grilled.
So I only had 2, not 3, 2. I had 2 parole boards.
And how long did it last then, in terms of the thing? You were there for an hour or half hour or whatever?
2 hours, 3 hours.
And did you get a decision on that day?
Well, you don't get the decision on that day, but what they do...
But you must have felt like it went badly then.
Well, what you do, the probation officer, I had a good probation officer, Christian Rowe. She was on my side 100%. She thought I should be released, when I walked out, she more or less told me that you're going to get knocked back. Because you're sitting in there and they go out in the room and they're talking. So she more or less knew it was the police officer that persuaded people that I wasn't ready to be released, because I hadn't come up with any answers to his questions, because I haven't looked at my psychology the way I should have been looking at it.
Yeah, you weren't able to give the
right answers. Yeah. So I got a knockback, but not only did I get knocked back, I got a bit of paper as well saying they wanted to put me on a course called CSCP. Well, CSCP is the worst course that you could ever be on. It's a course that you could never be released on.
So what does that stand for, that course?
It means cognitive self-changing programming.
Yep.
Right?
And so does the course have a certain length? Is it like a 15-week course or 10-week course?
A course that goes on forever.
Until you can complete it.
It's a course of maybe, I don't know how many courses you have to do, right? But it's a circle. So you go on maybe 10, which takes 2 years, So then that goes to the parole board. There might be one of those courses that you didn't learn properly, but they ain't going to tell you which one. No, they ain't going to tell you which one you failed on, but you failed. So you don't know which one you failed on. So now you've got to go back and do that same course again.
It's crazy. Go back slightly. So obviously after you've been turned down for this first parole thing, then it must have been sinking in quite bad how bad your situation is. By this point you're in there for 4 years, they're giving you all these more courses to do, and you must be thinking other people are now getting and you're thinking this IPP.
No one's getting out. So then
losing hope at any points in that.
So then I'm gonna wing, I'm gonna wing. If you can stay on this wing, you're out. You're on your way out. I got knocked back on my parole, but I think I shouldn't have been knocked back. It was only because the police officer,
Yeah.
So they put me on a wing that's going to get me out, because you don't bang up, maybe at night time for sleep. And I don't think you bang the door, but that's it, So you don't bang out, you cook, because whatever, you can do what you do, whatever. So I'm in my cell one day. Big shout, "Hello, Ray!" Who is it? It's a guy called Fish. He comes in, all right, Fish, how you going, mate? But what Fish used to do, there was a guy in there who was an Arab. Fish was in. Fish now, I tell you, he's doing IPP, the same as me. Very loud, don't care. Homosexual, don't care. But can have a fight. Dangerous person, right? He's been looking after this guy upstairs, this Arab guy in Wandsworth. The Arab guy was giving him money, sending him money. The Arab guy then gets moved to the Mount. Fish gets moved about, shipped about, but in the end he comes to the Mount after about 4 years. The Arab upstairs talked to me about Fish. He's this, he's that, he's that, he's this, he's that, he's that, he's that. Fish is my mate, right? But silly Ray, which hasn't learned, when Fish, oh, what mate, how are you? Come in myself. You know, how'd you get in this wing, mate? It's the business. I went, yeah. I said, you're one of your mates here. The geezer used to look after in the thing. Told me this. What? He said, what? Oh, why did I open my mouth? I thought, oh, what? Where is he? I said, I don't know. He went, I'll fucking find him. Upstairs. Ring, the alarm bells are going. Fish has gone up there, broke his jaw, cracked his nose, cracked his jaw. Now, Fish is boom, out the wing. Because they see him in my cell, because this wing is full of grasses. This wing. They all want to get out. So they're full of grasses. They see Fish come to my cell. So straight away, they're thinking that I'm instigated this shit. So
that's another knockback then. That's
no, they come and get here, Pat, you're gone. When they go to the block, who's next door to me? Fish. Doing press up. Right, mate. I mean, am I all right, mate? I'm doing an IPP, so am I, what's up? Right? Anyway. Now, you can imagine going thinking, oh, what? This is going to set me back years. But it does. It sets me back 2.5 years. It sets me back 2.5, 3 years.
So how long was it before you had your next parole from that?
7, 8 years.
So you end up in a few years before you had another one?
Yes, I've done about 7, 8 years, 9 years nearly. I thought,
losing hope. You must be losing hope.
Of course I am. I'm still on the courses on. But the only difference is, because with me and Fish are the ones of the first, well, not so much with me, because I'm one of the first, right? And there's guys now in there who, my course, have got DCAT. You know, I've got IPPs, I've got DCAT, I've got no cat, I've not even got a Tomcat, yeah, right? So, there's people get a DCAT. I've got to explain what a DCAT is. A DCAT is where you're so close to getting out, you're at a place where you've got no fences, you can work outside, yeah? This is what a DCAT is. You've got a little fence about 6 inches. Anyway, so I don't get none of that, right? So now I've got a 2.5 year knockback, 4.5, 5, so now I've got 5, 6, 8, 9 years, right, whatever. So now...
Thinking you're going to be in there forever at this point?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Did you ever have any relapses, get back on the drugs or anything like that?
No. All I did was look after a gym. And I wanted to get home. Right? Then you're meeting people this, meeting people that, you go, oh no. It's like getting worse, right? But because of this probation officer, got Christian involved, she's only got me up to CSCP course thing, yeah? She said I should be released. She's fantastic, yeah? So, I'm now so involved in this psychology thing, I'm more or less crisp.
And so luckily for you, obviously, you're more mature of age than most people on it. So at your age, you knew that, right,
listen, I've
got to get through these hurdles.
I could be in a fight. I could be in a fight
as
soon as I walked out myself. Because the guy that got bashed up by a fish was a Muslim.
Yeah.
They put me on a Muslim wing. Right? Bristow wing. Bristow, that's it. They put me on a Muslim wing. Put me on the ones where everyone on the ones was Muslims. Right? The only thing I had on my side was that I was a big guy that could have a fight. So as soon as I went in there, I challenged the biggest guy on that landing, right? No, you can't. Yeah. I challenged the biggest guy on the landing, yeah? We got a cut.
No.
I challenged the biggest guy on the landing to a fight.
Yeah.
No, I'm an IPP. I've done everything I've got to, but I've got to hold my own, because if I don't, mate, it ain't going to be working for me. So I challenge him. His arsehole went, his bottle went, he didn't want to know. I then got on from him. So Fish is still, anyway, I see Fish on the visit, I said, Fish, leave me alone, mate, please.
And so by this point, obviously, where it's cost you a couple of years previously, and that you knew you've got to stay away from troubles and people, you have to keep your head down just to get out of these places.
So I'm doing more psychology than ever before. I'm staying up late, and I'm dyslexic, but I'm getting over it, I'm reading, writing, everything.
You've been doing these psychology things for years at this point, so you've learned the right
I've learned a lot, got all of it. So this is my parole board now, and Christian and I were saying to me, Ray, we want this bad.
And you've been in jail for how long at this point?
9 years.
Yeah.
I mean, so now
on a 2.5 year sentence.
Yes, 2.5 year sentence. Yeah. Now, she's saying to me, look, this is your chance. I got you off that course, but you got to get out of it. Like, you've got to get a DCAT. You've got to go for this now. Right? But there's things that are going to happen that might benefit you. She's half marking my cards about something that I don't even know. Goes into the parole board. There's these 3 people I had before, but not the police officer. Right? But this woman in the middle who run the parole board, she's absolutely fantastic. So she's talking to me, Mr. Hill, I'm very proud of you for what you've done. I've got all your records of your courses, and you've done really, really well. Psychology stood up, give me the best ever. Probation stood up, give me the best ever. My case officer for the wing, he stood up. He went, no. I don't think Mr. Hill's ready for it. I don't think Mr. Hill's ready yet to be released. Yeah. So they're saying, why is that then? Because the science. What about a DCAT? What about Mr. Hill going to a DCAT? Actually, I think Mr. Hill needs to do a little bit more time, psychology, maybe another year or bit, or maybe 2 before that. Okay. Why do you think that? This is this woman in the middle. Why do you think that? Because Mr. Hill hasn't done this and he hasn't done that. But little did he know that I'd done it. This is the catchphrase that probation was telling me. Yeah, it's true. So these people, this one in the middle, said to this case officer, how long have you been Mr. Hill's case officer for? 4 years. How well do you know Mr. Hill? I know him really well. Do you say that he's done what he can do? Yes, but I don't think he's ready for it because he hasn't done this, he hasn't done that. So if he had done that and done that without you knowing, do you think you would let him go? Yes, 100%. I think you should get a DCAT for 100%. If he'd done it, but he hasn't done it. Well, let me tell you something. Mr. Hill has done that. And he come top march on it. And it's he couldn't believe it. And they went, okay, go out. As I went out and they're sitting on the board, my probation officer come back, Christian and I said to me, listen, I think he got it. So I'm in the wing, right? Downstairs in the gym, I was doing a gym in the wing, cleaning it. Yo!
So how long was this then? You had to wait a week or
6 months.
6 months?
Yes.
What was that wait like at that time?
Mate.
Because real quickly, like in the past, you've done some serious sentences before that you touched on.
Yeah.
But when you've been sentenced and you've got the finishing line, so you know exactly what you've got to do and you've got to get out. Like, how much worse is what you were on in terms of it as a question mark and you have to jump through all these sides? Like, how much worse torture on the brain was it in terms of like what you had to do?
Do you know
how
what,
hard was it?
When you're doing a big sentence, when you're doing a 7 or 10 or 12, 15 or whatever, nothing. Because you know that you're going to get out.
There's a finishing line.
Yes. When you're doing something you don't know there's an out, and you know you could be in forever, then it starts to crack you up. It starts to, you're not sleeping properly, you're not eating properly. There's things, you
can end up just torturing your brain.
It does torture you.
And like I said, the only way I can sort of compare it to any sort of film or something like this is that Shawshank Redemption thing when the guy's up every year. But the problem is you've got to behave like a monk in a place like jail.
It's like one flew over the cuckoo's nest.
Yeah, so in hell, which is impossible not to do anything, like say getting caught up, fish done something, you get a couple of years, it's absolutely fucking
When
impossible.
you come out of prison, when you're in prison, Once that door opens up, you're anybody's. You're anybody's. Anybody can walk down that landing, a schizophrenic psychopath.
And there's plenty of them in there.
Yeah, who's doing an IPP, that doesn't realise what's going on, could stab you in the back and things like that, and then there's a row. Because you stabbed you in the back, there's a row, but that could set you back 2 years. So you've got to look at everything as a challenge. Everything you do, you've got to look at it as a challenge of getting back into your cell at night time. That is it. It's a challenge. As you come out your cell, you go back in your cell in the afternoon for a quick rest. That's one challenge. You've got out off of that. The next challenge is getting in your cell at night time, because you know that you're one of these people that likes these bits of food. So you can go in the kitchen and cook. But that's another challenge, because there's people in that kitchen that are absolutely cranks, that want their oven on this or throwing fat about, thinking you're going to give them a clump and all that. But, you know, sometimes it doesn't matter how much you challenge it, sometimes you've got to let that challenge go and go, hit someone on the chin, you know, and hoping that nothing's happened, you know, to try and think, no, please God, you know, he says, well, please God, he gets up, you know what I mean? And in my way, it never happened.
And so that 6 months then, it must be an absolute torture then, waiting for your mind must have been playing tricks, you must be thinking,
well,
oh yeah, good to start with, month down the line, you're thinking, no, I'm fucked.
Well, there was new people coming in. The thing is, you've got new people, this is what the worst of it is, you've got new people coming in who don't understand. That maybe done a year of the sentence, and they're coming in, playing fucking records till 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the morning. There's you got to get up early, and they're playing records all night long. You're shouting at me, shut up, keep quiet. You know, and then so you've got to keep that shut, open, right? And all of a sudden, one day, right, I'll never forget, I was in the gym, office. I thought, oh no, it's my parole day. I know, I feel it. I walk up there, and there's 4 of them in the office. And my case officer says 5, yeah? He went, I've got some bad news here, mate. My fucking legs went, mate. He said, you're going home October the 1st. I went, fucking hell. I thought September, October, still got weeks to do. Like, do you know, like, it was
legs go, tears.
Listen, mate, I walked along the lane and I went in my cell and burst out crying.
Of course.
It was like...
Day you never thought would come.
Because, no, what it made it worse, because now you've got to stay in your cell. You don't want to come out for 4 months, or 5 months, or 2 months, or what it is, or a month. You don't want to, 6 weeks, you don't want to come out of your cell. You're petrified to come out of your cell. Do you know what I mean? And everybody knows it, and they're thinking, like, everybody, listen, there's more people in there that are jealous of you getting out.
Yeah, you don't want to tell people that.
Do you know what I mean? And everybody fucking told everybody, you know what I mean? And then, you know, all of a sudden, the day comes that you've got to be released.
Yeah.
I'll never forget, I went down reception, just trying my stuff on, and I looked like Pluto, because it was all like, you know, so a mate of mine gave me a pair of jeans, and I still had to get into them jeans. So I trained it, because I was in the gym, I trained every day, really hard on the bike, and then got into the jeans, looked a bit crisp, I thought, yeah. And then when my mate picked me up, I looked like a bag of shit, because it's different altogether, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Of course, by this point it'd been 9 years, had it been?
Yeah, nearly close to 10, mate.
Of a 2.5 year sentence.
Of a 2.5 year sentence. And there was guys in there.
Absolute madness.
That got 14 months for nicking a mobile phone.
Probably still in there today.
Still in there today.
And talk to us about how difficult it's been since coming out. So like you said, you came out after 9 years. This was close to 10 years ago when it came out now. So you come out, and so talk to us about that process over the last 10 years. I know you still haven't got a passport for one thing.
Yeah, when you come out,
you're still seeing probation stay on.
Well, when you come out, people like IPPs and big sentences, you've got to go into a hostel. Yeah, they put me in a hostel at Ealing Broadway. It was a really good hostel, you know, good hostel, clean, big house, you know, private, you know. But the only thing is with these hostels is that there's people in the hostels that are doing short sentences too. I was in there for about, I think it was 6-7 months in the hostel, because I'm an IPP and because I'm an old age pensioner. I don't work, yeah. So I'm a social. So the first day there, second day there, I go down to the job centre, and I'm trying to get my money, this, that, and the other, and they're telling me I don't exist yet. They're telling me that Ray Hill don't exist, so I want to know why I've got an IPP. How do they get an IPP if I don't exist? But my name is Ray Rollins. But my father married my mother, but never changed it on depot, so I'm still Rollins. Yeah. But in the end, we get it all sorted, yeah? So I go back, I've got my money, I buy my bit of food, but my mum don't live far from me, yeah? So I ain't got to cook there, I ain't got to wash no clothes, I can take it to my mum, which is about 1.5, 2 miles down the road. But the trouble with hostels is that there's so many idiots that get in there.
People on drugs.
You know, so every morning, 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, you hear crash, 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 up and down the stairs, old Bill. Okay, walkie-talkie, she's like, what the fuck's going on? You don't know if it's your daughter's going to come in. You don't know. Even though you don't know if it's wrong, it's still, something tells you that you have. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, of course. And they shit people out all the time. There's no people coming in every day. And you're thinking, wait, well, one day, this is crazy. One day, I'm talking to a girl on the phone and I'm playing with myself. So what? The door, they're supposed to lock the door before they come in. Right? You can't lock the door from the outside, inside, yeah? You've got to leave it open. That's part of the regulations of hostel. She brushes in, she doesn't knock the door, just walks in. I'm doing, she's, walks out, gone downstairs. I thought, oh, fucking hell. In the morning, I walk down to the office, walking down, see up a big glass front. It's an old house. As I walk there, they all look at me like in disgust. Well, what are you doing every day in the prison? What's the big thing? Anyway, Mr. Hill, so and so, I forget his name now, wants to see you in the office, yeah? You think, what? You could get a recall for this, Mr. Hill. You can go back to prison for this, you know that. So, what have I done? Well, this woman, not a man, woman, knocked the door, which you was doing something, but you should have put yourself into your pants or where it was, but you wasn't. You can get a recall for that and go back to prison. But she never knocked the door. They give me a warning, a big warning. So anyway, I got off of that. But also because I was on crack when I done what I done. I'm on drugs unit. I've got to go to the drugs place at Hanwell. I'm seeing him twice a week, a black guy. One day, I've been there 4 or 5, I keep going down to this guy, weed test, piss test, and the random checks. You could be walking down the road, car pulls up, old Bill, get in the motor, take to the station, piss test. That's what it's like as an IPP. Right? All of a sudden, the guy I'm going to see who's doing the piss test says to me, I've just gone to look at a flat in Harrow, but I think I've got the flat. They've already sent me to a flat, right, on the Uxbridge Road, right, and I walked in there, and it was like walking into it was unbelievable. A little half the size of this, with a bed, a shower, a sink, thousands of people in there, all smoking, cooking. It stunk right by the motorway, North Circular, opposite what's that all the furniture. I don't know. And it's not, was it there? It was windows are black. Couldn't see out of them. I refused it. So now I've got one more time, and then I've got to go back to prison because I'm refusing their help. I'm walking down the road. My mate, beep, all right, what the hell? Because my mate was away with me in prison, but he's been out about 4 years. How you going? I'm in the hostel. Oh yeah, nice one. How you been? Well, I've just been looking for a flat. He said, I've got a flat in Harrow. I've got quite a few flats with my pal. Yeah, well, come on, I'll show you. Get in the car, go to the flat. This is what I want. 1 bedroom flat. You've seen it.
Yeah.
You know, and it ain't nothing like, you know, anyway, but it was a flat.
Of course.
A nice little flat.
Happy to get out.
Yeah, so they give it me. I thought, yes. Probation comes round, okays it, right? I'm still in the hostel for a couple of weeks until all the paperwork's done for them. So then I go and see the drugs unit guy, yeah? I've done 500, maybe more, piss tests. You know, proper ones. He's gone, you're so lucky, Mr. Hill, to have got that. I said, why am I so lucky? I said, I've been in prison nearly 10 years. I've not had one positive piss test, all negative, right? Doesn't that say something to you? He went, well, it does, Mr. Hill, yes. He says, you're either very lucky or you don't take drugs. So I said, I think this, I don't take drugs, don't you? So I went back to the hostel. As I went back to the hostel, I said, Mr. Hill, I've got a bit of good news for you. You're going tomorrow to your flat because we've also had information from your drugs counsellor that you're not welcome in no more. You passed it in flying colours. So I thought, wow. But it's, and then I go there and they give me a probation officer in Harrow, which she was excellent.
What did you have? Monthly meetings or?
Every 2 weeks or a week it was.
It's quite a lot. And so how long did it stay like that for then? 6 months, 7 months, a year. Yeah. And then went down to monthly meetings.
And then went down to 3 months, 4 weeks, 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's 6 weeks even today.
So you still even, and you've been out of jail for 10 years, you're still
10 years, 11 years, 11 years.
You're in no trouble whatsoever.
No trouble.
But in terms of they won't let you get a passport as well.
Can't get a passport.
So you haven't been able to go on any sort of holidays
or
anything like this since you come out of jail. Been in no trouble in 10 years.
Yeah.
20 years since the offence.
Yeah.
Got committed while you're on drugs. 20 years since you committed the offence. Yeah. And still can't get off it today.
Yeah.
And what they tell
you. No one wants to take. No one really. I mean, I've got really, really good probation. You know, I think I've had about 13 probation officers, right, in this 10 years, 11 years of me being out here.
But they can't take you off it, can they?
They can't take you off. It's the Home Office.
Yeah.
No one wants to take responsibility. They're saying to me, one woman said to me, I ain't saying who it was, she said to me, they can't make out why you haven't had a recall still.
Because everyone gets recalled.
Everybody gets a recall. And you're one of the first, or maybe the first, that has been out of prison and hasn't had a recall. So I'd have thought that had been why, you know.
And like I said, when it got abolished, the sentence did in whatever year. And
06, I think it was.
But none of you obviously got re-sentenced or
something
anything like this.
No.
They're still to this day.
Yeah.
And they told you, in terms of getting off it, you're going to be getting off it soon or anything like this?
They told me that the head of probation are trying to find out what's going on here. No one knows what's going on. No one seems to want to take responsibility. I think I've done long enough now.
Well, clearly it's 20 years since you committed offence. It's clearly you're no threat to the public.
Yeah, exactly.
Or anything like this.
Well, I'm 72.
Drugs, you're just trying to
I'm
get
72
on your
years
life.
of age, mate.
I bet you'd love to go on holiday or something like this.
Of course. I mean, listen.
And just still having to worry about probation meetings and stuff like this every 6 weeks. It's just crazy at this point. It's just
you got listen.
There's no need for it.
I'm so into probation that I phone them up to ask them when they might give me a date, but I phone them 2 or 3 days before that date and is that date still on? I said, okay, they might go, oh, well, Mr. Hill, we're a bit busy at the minute. How's things with you anyway? Yeah, things are okay. I'm still doing my book. I'm just saying, okay, Mr. Hill, that'll do. 6 weeks time, I'll see you in 6 weeks time and give me a date, yeah? So I mean, you get your dates, yeah? You get your dates they give you your dates. My next date is the 10th of July, yeah? That's my next date. I've got good probation. Always get good probation, but no one can take responsibility. Yeah.
And like I said, like the pressure of being on this probation all these years and all these licenses would have broken a lot of people. But like I said, you clearly not a criminal anymore, and you're mature enough. But like I said, there's probably people still in jail for small sentences that haven't been able to get out through these.
Well, I'm lucky. Yeah, I'm lucky that I met this guy called Terry Haley. Yeah. Terry Haley has given me the flat that I live in now. He looks after me. I'm not in any. He looks after me as well as anybody. He's like my brother, yeah. I think maybe if I hadn't had him behind me, maybe something might have happened, yeah. Maybe something silly might have happened. I don't know. I can't.
Like I said, you've been out for a few years before you met him anyway.
Yeah,
so nothing would have happened regardless. Yeah. But like I said, have you got a message for any of these younger people that have been in jail for 10 or more years on the IPP and small and not done the courses? Have you got any message to them to try to encourage them to try? The only
you've got to realise is the only way you're going to get out of here, out of prison, you've got to do your courses. I know you're saying yeah, but I can't get to do my course. I can't get to do it. There's nothing I can do. Nothing I can really tell you to change that, yeah, because I speak to probation. They're saying that there's not enough psychologists to do this now. You've got to remember, a lot of these psychologists don't even get paid for it. They just do it randomly to help people out, yeah. And it comes to a stage that this IPP's got to a stage now that they should let everybody out on IPP. Or go back to court where a judge can say, okay, you're out in 6 months or whatever.
Yeah, so that was obviously going to be my next kind of question. Like, what would your message be to the politicians who decide on these sort of things, or the things the Home Secretary was done it well recently, who obviously is what would your message be about you're someone who's been through one of these IPPs, it was 20 years ago, you're still serving, it's still got a 99-year licence, it doesn't go down people, obviously not that anyone could complete a 99-year sentence anyway. What would your message be to them in terms of what do you think should happen? What should they do?
I feel that the judge may be dead that sentenced you anyway. I feel that you should go to the High Court in the Strand, the big High Court, and I think you should go in front of 3 serious judges to give you a date. Might even say, well, you can be released today because they'll have all the paperwork in front of them, what sort of person you are.
So you believe everyone should be re-sentenced and then assessed on whether they're given a finish line?
Yes.
Hopefully a lot of people get released straight away, but then there'll be certain people who maybe they'll get a finishing line at least.
100%.
For their minds.
Yes, 100%, Christian.
All right.
You're right, mate.
Well, I think that's it. That's
thank you.